moving jobs from one area to the other. So that was another thing, past work, and we've got that through. That's another way where California is now, I think, stepping out in front of other areas. Another thing that we did, which I thought was important, is the issue of, I chair the Democratic Caucus, as I mentioned, and also chair the Environmental Quality Committee in the Senate. And it's interesting, here again, getting back to environmental quality and our quality of life and how important it is. There have only been 3 chairs to that committee, and since its existence. One was Byron Scheer, the other was Joe Simitian, and the third is me. And so we're all from this area, and we all certainly value the important part of this area, one of the important parts of this area, so it's important. But one of the things that we did this year, and you may have some questions about it, is created some legislation on fracking. As you know, fracking is hydraulic fracturing. That's the issue of how to extract the oil that's underground that really hasn't been a productive way of getting at it before. Now with the cost of oil, and we have the largest what would you call it, largest oil field, I guess, in the country. It's called the Monterey Shale, which is under the valley down closer to Southern California. They project, the federal government projects 15.4 billion barrels of oil are underground. The problem is, how do you get it? And that's the challenge, because back east in Pennsylvania, North Dakota, they've been doing this for a while with detrimental effect to the environment. And that is something that, you know, as environmentalists that we are, we didn't want to see happen in California. So there were 2 ways to go this year. Let me just share with you how the fracturing works. They drill a hole, usually 1.5 miles deep, and then they will go horizontally from there out quite a ways. And they pump high pressure water into those wells, very high pressure water, with chemicals. And the chemicals that they use are generally toxic chemicals. They are chemicals that they've never disclosed what they were, so no one had a way of knowing how it affects anything. But in some areas back east where the wells are around, you can't drink the water. You turn on the tap and methane comes out, and you can light it and flames come out. It's amazing what has happened with that. So we certainly don't want that to happen in California. So there were 2 choices. So then the problem, so that's one way, and then there's called acidizing as another method where they will pump water and acid in the ground, and it does the same thing. So, and what it does is the chemicals get in and break the shale up underground, breaks the shale up, separates the oil out, and then the oil and the water come up through the well, and then they extract the oil from that, but what do they do with the rest of the stuff? And that's been the problem. And a lot of times they will take it and push it down into another well and keep it underground